This is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. I want to talk a little bit about entitlements, about an article I was reading that was pretty interesting. It's something that a lot of us are aware of. And it was the interesting part was how they compared it to your average addiction. You know, you got the drugs out there, your alcohol, gambling, sex, working out, cigarettes, the list goes on. There are methods that we use to try to escape, and it's very hard to escape those methods that we're using to escape. So this person went in, they looked at entitlements, and they said, "Isn't this the same as an addiction? You're out there getting something for nothing." And there's a great deal, a number of people out there that are able to go out and give up drinking, gambling, and all that stuff, all their addictions. They go through great pain doing it, but they're able to do it. And they're not able to do the same thing with the entitlement addiction. When you're out there and you're getting cash, you're getting food payments, you know, food stamps, you're getting subsidized housing, you're getting tax credits on your mortgage, you're getting subsidized health care, as we're seeing now, welfare benefits, the list goes on. Who wants to give up anything that they're getting for free, that they don't have to pay for, that they can use other people's hard-earned money to go out and get their free items? And the politicians know this. And that's why it's nearly impossible to get rid of entitlements. A good example is Obamacare. You know, they called it the tax or the penalty under Obamacare, and these goofy Republicans came out and said, "Oh, we're not going to subsidize it. Instead, we're going to do a tax credit." That's subsidizing. It's the same thing as what Obama had, except it's not they're calling it something different, basically. And they're still giving it out for free. And politicians know that. It's difficult. The ones that know it the best are the progressives, the one on the lefts. And that's how they win the debates every time with the entitlements. Every American out there who receives some form of entitlement generally will back more so the left-leaning politician, because they will sit there and promise more entitlements. And they're out there consistently seeking to increase the entitlements. Government benefits. And that earns them a vote every time. And, you know, and this guy was interesting because he said, in that regard, couldn't you consider a lot of the leftists or progressives the drug dealers? And that's true. He used the leftists, but I got to tell you, the Republicans are the same. The government enterprise out there could be deemed the drug dealer. The ones that are giving the benefits to the pharmacies that are pushing their drugs out there, the entitlements that are being pushed out there, and everything we see. And they went on to explain how these entitlements are so addictive because they're so powerful. And the difference between that and a drug addiction or a gambling addiction is the fact that entitlements are not regarded as addictions. You know, if you go out there and you talk to the average person that's collecting welfare, collecting food stamps, you ask them, "Are you an addict?" They'll say, "No, I'm just getting these entitlements. I'm entitled to these entitlements. The government owes me. People owe me. It's natural. It's uncontroversial. It's like going out, taking a fresh breath of fresh air out there. It's a natural occurrence." And, you know, if you even look at the word entitlement, it basically says the people are entitled to it. I mean, that's it, entitlement. You're entitled to this free stuff. You're entitled to the welfare. You're entitled to food stamps. And it's doing a lot of damage to our society. And it's doing more, and he had an interesting comparison because he said, look, you know, with an addict, they're out there, they ruin their lives. They may ruin their loved ones' lives, their family's lives. If you look at someone that's addicted to alcohol, they may go out and kill somebody or maim a person. The same with sex. You know, sex addict may go out and may get involved in human trafficking through his actions, through his addiction, hurts his family, etc. But in society, it's different when you come to these entitlements because you're hurting a society as a whole. The more people who receive and become dependent upon entitlements, dependent upon the government, will sooner or later collapse the society because you can't economically feasibly, economically continue down this road. And if you combine that addiction with the selfishness that we see out there, and it's not with all dependents, but it's on a lot of dependents. Look, when I got out of the military, I had to go on unemployment because I had to find a job. But I knew it was a temporary thing and I wasn't going to stay on it. I didn't want to stay on it. I wanted to get off of it. I wanted to go get a job. I was used to working in the military. And it's the same with the middle class. Like I said, tax, when you go out and get a tax break on your mortgage or a mortgage deduction, guess what? That's an entitlement. And I cannot see us taking that away from society. And it grows from one generation to another. And it continues to evolve. And that's how these political parties, they know, hey, I'll offer up these entitlements. And the Republicans know that. Republicans knew they couldn't repeal Obamacare because it's an entitlement. People want that free stuff. They couldn't come in and cut down the penalty or the taxes, the subsidies and stuff like that. When they're subsidizing, they had to go in and come up with another way. So they said, oh, let's do it and we'll call it a tax credit. But nobody will know because stupid Americans. And in the meantime, the entitlement state in every country is failing, and it's forcing tens of millions of migrants out into the different countries because they want to keep that entitlement state alive. And this entitlement addiction will ultimately ruin the character of the country, the soul of the country, and of its recipients. And the economy of a lot of these countries, especially over in Europe, very socialistic, very government driven, very entitlement driven. In Italy, you work, they call it the 13th month. They give you a free month of pay because they say the first 12 months are just to pay your bills. So you don't even have to work. They give you that 13th month of pay for free. The reason Renzi is gone is because he wanted to make it 14 months. And that's that entitlement addiction. And politicians generally know, hey, if I push it out here, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. So, nice comparison. What do you think? Is the entitlement state essentially the addicted state? This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.